Good morning, children. Today we'll be taking chapter 2 of Geography, Globe, Latitudes and Longitudes. In the last chapter, you read about our planet Earth, which is not sphere in shape. It is slightly flattened at North and South Pole and bulged in the middle. Can you imagine how Earth looks? Well, you must have seen a globe. It is a true model in a miniature form of the Earth. You see that in the picture, that is figure 2.1. You'll notice that a needle is fixed through a globe in a tilted manner, which is called axis. 2 points through which the needle passes on the globe, the north and the south pole. The globe can be moved around the needle from west to east, just as the planet Earth moves. But remember the difference. The real Earth has no such needle. It moves around its axis, which is an imaginary line. Again I repeat, it is just an imaginary line. हम खाली imagine करते हैं. Another imaginary line that runs on the surface of the earth is the equator. The equator divides the earth into two equal parts, the north hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Therefore, the equator is an imaginary circular line and is important reference to point and locate places on the earth. All parallel circulars from the equator up to the poles are called parallels of latitude. Latitudes are measured in degrees and the equator represents 0 degree. Since the distance from the equator to either of the pole is 1/4 of a circle around the earth, it will measure 1/4 of 360 degrees. Thus 90 degrees north latitude marks the North Pole and 90 degrees south marks the South Pole. All parallels north of the equator are called north latitudes. Similarly, all parallels south of the equator are called south latitudes. The value of each latitude is followed by the word north or south. For example, Chandrapur in Maharashtra is situated at 20 degree north latitude and Belo in Brazil is located 20 degree south of latitude. Important parallels of latitudes. Besides the equator, which is 0 degree, the North Pole is 90 degree north and the South Pole is 90 degree south. There are 4 important parallels of latitude. Tropic of Cancer, that is 23.5 degree north in the northern hemisphere. Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south in the southern hemisphere. Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree north of the equator. Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degrees south of the equator. Now in the last part of the lesson, we learned about the heat zones of the earth, that is the torrid zone, the temperate zone and the frigid zone. The torrid zone, this is the region near the equator and the sun rays hits the earth directly on the torrid zone. Due to the shape of the earth, most of the heat is absorbed at the center, making it the torrid zone. This is the region sun is exactly overhead in the afternoon and the area bounded by the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and the Tropic of Capricorn and Arctic Circle in the southern hemisphere have moderate temperature. The midday sun never shines over the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Therefore, these zones are called temperate zone. Areas above Arctic Circle and below Antarctic Circle are very cold because sun rays do not reach these horizons and provide less heat. The angle of sun rays goes on decreasing near the poles, hence it is called the frigid zone. Now let's come back to longitudes and latitudes. With the help of longitudes and latitudes, we can locate any place on the surface of the earth. Longitude is the line of reference running from North Pole to South Pole to figure out what would be the 0 latitude. Therefore, long back, all the countries decided that the count should begin from the meridian which passes through Greenwich, London. Now this place is 0 degree for latitude From there, 180 degree east and 180 degree west determines the time zone. As the earth rotates from west to east, those places east of Greenwich, which will be ahead of Greenwich time, and west will be behind it. India is 5.5 an hour ahead of British time. So let us try to understand this calculation. It takes 24 hours for Earth to make one rotation. So 360 divided by 24 is equal to 15 degree in 1 hour. Earth moves 15 degree. Therefore, 1 minute is equal to 15 divided by 60 equals to 4 degree. Therefore, Earth moves 4 degree every minute. That's all we have in this chapter. Thank you and stay blessed.